Federation SAFTU says the 8 major insurance firms suspected of fixing their prices must be charged and fined if found guilty. Discovery, Old Mutual, Bidvest, Life Limited and Momentum are among companies raided by the Competition Commission yesterday. The Commission says it has reasonable grounds to suspect the insurers have engaged in collusive practices to fix prices of a number of products. Documents and data seized will help determine whether they contravene the Competition Act. The raids follow warrants obtained from courts in Gauteng, KZN and the Western Cape. Right now, Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu admits capacity issues are affecting his department's ability to provide communities with clean drinking water. He's given an update on the state of water and sanitation to mark 1 year since he took office. There are areas in KZN that haven't had water for months following the April floods, and beaches in eThekwini have been affected by sewage spillages. Mchunu says there is an issue around capacity that needs to be addressed. And for more on this, we're joined by Manqoba Mchunu, who is covering that for us. Manqoba, exactly what are some of the issues did the minister say are a huge concern when it comes to sanitation in our country?
Well, Masiko, one of the bigger issues that the minister highlighted in this press briefing, of course, was the issue of projects that he says remain incomplete. There are several, in fact, he refers to them as a plethora of, projects, Masiko, that have still not been completed, projects that have either been abandoned or have either not even taken off. And this is a huge concern for the department, given that there are quite a number of communities that we know, Masiko, that have issues when it comes to water. We spoke earlier of the people of Giyani who have been waiting for over 8 years just to get clean water from the department. We know that that project didn't take off, and it's one of the concerns. And we did, in fact, see the minister, going to Giyani, going to the ground to assess some of those projects. And he says that this has been quite a huge, problem when it comes to the department and how it has been dealing with some of these challenges. But what has exacerbated this issue is the issue of incapacity within the department. He says that they've had to look at the issue of staffing within the department. There were a number of vacancies in the executive level that had not been filled. And so the top priority for the department was to try and fill these vacancies. And he says that he thought that after filling some of these vacancies, it will all be smooth sailing. But that has not been the case, because there is still a lack of resources in many of the water boards around the country, in many of the municipalities, but also the issue of aging infrastructure, as well as dilapidated infrastructure and infrastructure that is simply not functional at this particular point. This is what he says has actually exacerbated the situation at some of these particular municipalities. But he says that as a department, there are some interventions that they're looking into to try and deal with this particular issue. But let's listen, Masiko, to what the minister had to say, in particular about the issue of resources and the lack of capacity within the department.
This issue of capacity, right from head office where we sit, it reflects on a number of issues, or on a number of occurrences. You start a project and then an error comes in, and then it gets delayed because somebody has done or has made an error of one kind or the other somewhere down the line. And then it takes a while before that error gets detected. And then it gets detected and it gets addressed. By that time, you have lost 2 months or 3 months in some cases 6 months. So that clearly shows that there is a little bit of a capacity issue.
And what did the minister say, Manqoba, about day zero basically looming in the Eastern Cape?
Well, the minister is saying, Masiko, that up until now they've managed to avert day zero, but he says that it is a daily struggle. In fact, he says that the last time that he had been speaking to officials from the Eastern Cape was last night, when they were trying again to see what can be done in this particular issue. But he says the biggest concern for now is, of course, the issue of the drought, and the fact that up until now none of the dams in the Eastern Cape have been able to, sort of get back the water that had been lost because of the drought. in that particular province. But he says that there are some interventions that they have actually implemented in the Eastern Cape, and some of them which they are looking into when it comes to the issue of water. And one of those is the issue of boreholes, which he says that this is an issue that they are working together with some of the private companies as well as organizations like Gift of the Givers to try and open more boreholes in that particular area of the Eastern Cape. But he says that this will take some time, Masiko. And of course, the appeal is to residents in the Eastern Cape to use water sparingly, to bear in mind that there is a drought and the fact that for the past 7 years, the water levels in that province have been compromised due to that drought. So he has really made an appeal to residents saying that they shouldn't use water as if they have water supply like any other province in the country. They must bear in mind that there is a water challenge that is happening in that particular province. But as far as that is concerned, he says that they are still continuing with trying to intervene with that particular area. And he says up until now, they've managed to avert day zero. But take a listen to what he had to say on this particular issue.
The other context is that of drought, 7-year drought in Gqeberha, which we are looking at with day zero always knocking around on our door. But we are working well, and we've worked very well with the municipality there and the Eastern Cape government, provincial government, to avert up to now. So if you ask us, have we been able to avert day zero, we are saying at least up to the time we went to sleep last night, up to 12 midnight, there was no day zero. And we're battling it today from early morning. And we're hoping that we will have another day without day zero in Gqeberha. It's a day-to-day struggle with day zero, but it's looking at us in the eye. We're looking at it in the eye.
All right, that was Minister Senzo Mchunu, a snippet from a press conference that our reporter Manqoba Mchunu was attending earlier today. Now,